Okay, we're back. Let's try that again. I know that this computer has had issues with. Um, I know this computer has had issues with internet, and the thing is, when you have um, when you have one, two, three, however many computers I have here, you know if it's computer related, internet related, whatever. And I I'm pretty sure the issue is with the Wi-Fi adapter on here. So that's probably the issue that has to be fixed. But we are back here on this on this Saturday and Tuesday. Jesus God. But we're going to get going here on this show here. Um, we have stakes action from Aqueduct and Gulfstream, and we also have an update on the town. The town was running yesterday in a maiden race at Gulfstream Park. Um, he's had all kinds of trouble in his races, but he did run yesterday, and we're going to give you a little update on that right now. So he is the 5 in this race here. So let me share my screen, and we'll give you that update here.
They're in the gate. And runners away. From the rail, Friday Night Light away quickly and blasts off the mark for Husbands to take a 2-length lead in a hurry, trying to get over, but 5 wide is off the deck. Moving up between horses, that's Just Buy It into second. In tight between horses, Sirac, and moving at the rail, Excel. In the run to the first turn, Urgency is 3 wide and out 4 wide on the course, Bravo Rush. Back from there, you find Sir Guinness, who races outside of Star of the Gun, a length and a half clear of the town. Chemical Romance is on his outside, and the early trailer is Fazzoni. To the backstretch they go, 23 and 4 for a pumped up opening quarter. Just Buy It and Friday Night Light. They trade punches on the top end. Off the deck is now racing in third, 2.5 more to the outside. It's Urgency. Sirac is in the yellow cap between horses, and Excel is along the rail. Then it's back to Sir Guinness. He spots about 5 lengths off the lead. On his outside goes a retreating Bravo Ruff. At the rail, Star of the Gun, the town is in big-time traffic. Outside goes Chemical Romance, the trailer Fazzoni. They round the far turn. 47 and 1 for the opening half mile. It's Just Buy It and Friday Night Light. They continue to spar. On the outside, Urgency strides into third, passing off the deck, who's back to fourth. Trying to run home from the back is Sir Guinness. At the rail, it's Sirac. Underway, the town. He swings widest of all. Off the turn and the stretch drive. Just Buy It. Set sail for the money with 2.5 lengths in front. Urgency runs at him from second, back to third and down the center of the town. Final 16th of a mile. The town lifting, but Just Buy It is in front. Just Buy It. The town rolls. The town surges. The town gets up. The town ran down Just Buy It and beat him a neck. Third was Urgency. Fourth, Sirac, and off the deck to complete your high five. 134 and 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, um, we have a winner. The town did win, and he did win as a favorite at 2-1 odds there. And AJ has another horse that has broken its maiden. As you know, he also owns Schoolyard Superman, who was briefly on the New York road to the Kentucky Derby. The town has found a home on the turf, and one thing you see yet again, he has an amazing closing kick. We saw that from the very first race, and um, but yeah, we have a winner, and we'll find out what happens with him in the next um, couple of weeks where he runs next. I'm almost tempted. maybe it's because I'm so stuck on the Kentucky Derby prep races that I almost want to run him at Oaklawn in the Arkansas Derby. Now, probably get destroyed in the race, but Oaklawn, from what I've been watching, does tend to have those closers that just come from the clouds, and this is a horse that comes from the clouds. But I think that they found a home for him on the turf, which is not a bad thing because there's a bunch of great 3-year-old races where you can make a crap ton of money on. So, but the town got it done today, got it done yesterday, and hopefully the start of great things for him. Took him 5 tries, but did finish second in a restricted stakes at Gulfstream back in December, the day after Christmas. Didn't do anything well, but had some traffic troubles in his last start, which is his turf bow, and then showed that performance. So he may be a horse that ends up running in some turf races in Florida or wherever they decide to run him, because with a trainer like Brad Cox, he's all over the place. So you could see him running maybe Laurel on Preakness weekend if there's a turf race that they want to run there, or I'm just throwing ideas out there. I don't know. We'll see. But so let's get to the races here, and we're going to look at these 4 races here today, and also might as well, since we pull this up here. If the web page will cooperate with me. There we go. Okay, so here we go. And I'm going to disappear from the screen here now. So Fade and Duel does have the money back special, $10 back on select races. Today, race 11 is part of which is the Davona Dale. That is a race that we're going to be looking at here. So that is going to be covered in the money back special, where if your horse finishes second or third, depending on the size of the field, you will get your win wager back up to $10. So that is in play today. Also, we have go back here. No, not that. You have the money back special on the Kentucky Derby prep races. And today is the Gotham and the Fountain of Youth. Both of them, you get up to $20 back if your horse finishes second or third. The Fountain of Youth has 9 horses left. There was a second scratch. And the Gotham has 9 horses as well. No scratches there, I believe. Oh, no, there is 1 horse that's scratched. Okay, that's right. I did write that up. So you do have all 3 races that the 2 races that are money back, the 3 races that are money back specials here, they're all with horses that have 8 or more horses in the field. And tomorrow's Rebel Stakes will fall under that as well. So we're going to get to the races here. We're going to begin with race 2 at Aqueduct. So we're starting very early today, and it is it is the Busher Stakes. They're going a mile on the main track here. Well, they only had the main track this time of the year here, but they don't have any track condition as of yet. Yesterday, the track was muddy. Just check one thing here. Okay, so there is no track condition listed as of yet. And the reason why I say that is the track was muddy yesterday. Um, and part of the reason why, and I'm just going to check one thing here. Yeah. So what I imagine what's happening is because of all the snow that we got last week around the Northeast, also Mid-Atlantic, um, it's slowly all that snow is melting and truthfully melting rapidly. So I imagine what's happening is the ground is thawing out, and as a result, that track is becoming muddy because the moisture that's in it and all that. So I imagine that is the reason why for that. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we can get you guys a winner as we get through here. And you have a short field of five here. And favorite is Paradise. Now, the three Paradise and the four Blazing Brat. They're both indicated that they're cross-centered there at Gulfstream Park. That's the code for Gulfstream GP. Don't worry about that because they are both running here today. And they're both running here in New York. So Paradise went gate to wire to win, going a mile on January 4th. Both she and Blazing Brat are running here today, as I said here. She could be on the lead here, or she may be maybe a little off the pace here, but something tells me she'll be on the lead because of the fact that she did have an issue leaving the gate in her debut, which is not uncommon for first-time starters. So, but don't. But in a race like this, these are the races that are a pain to handicap and also project out to the next race in a series, whether they stay in New York or they decide, oh, we'll run at Keeneland next month because that's the final race there. These races are hard to handicap both today and extrapolating it to the next race. So, but also, but this is the case with four of the five horses here. And, I don't know. I'm not sure if this will all cancel each other out or not, but a lot of times horses that come from Florida, and if you are a player of the New York tracks, you're going to see this happening more and more, where the horses are coming up from New York, or they're coming up from Florida to New York, and there's something about being in that Florida humid air that when they come up to New York, they're ready to run. It's something, it was explained to me, and I wish I knew who it was and how true this is, but a lot of times these Florida horses that have wintered in Florida come up, and because they can, it's everything with the air and the humidity and all that. It helps them a little bit to perform better than some of these horses that are staying in New York. Whether that's true or not, if you want to refute that, feel free to do so, even after when the show's over, especially on YouTube, because you can hit me up in the comments there. But this is going to be a tactical race more than anything else. But this horse has promise. Also, Gunrunner. That is a sire whose offspring can run all day. So be interesting to see what happens here. I think that she will definitely be. This will be an interesting race for her today, as she is looking to get the points here to get into the Kentucky Oaks here. The 5 Interstate Love Song, by the way, nice song by Stone Temple Pilots. this is a horse that's going to want the lead, has not shown any indication that she can rate, but the last two races here, the maiden race at Aqueduct the day after Christmas, just drew off and won, came back, ran into Ruthless, brought to you by Mike Tyson. Dueled pretty much all the way around the track with Two Bits, but Two Bits was able to hold on to the lead. Or no, it was two different horses that she dueled. She dueled one horse in the backstretch and Two Bits in the stretch. So, but very game here. And with a race like this, you may see a filly here who is all heart so far and may show that again today, or she may just have a trouble here because, you know, you have Paradise who go for the lead, Current Yield who'll go for the lead probably, but Current Yield, for example, Nyquist, that was a horse that won the Kentucky Derby a few years back. All these horses look like they will get the distance. May not necessarily be today, but, you know, in future races even, you know, put that in your Rolodex, mental Rolodex for later on. But Paradise looks like a real player here. Interstate Love Song looks like a player. Blazing Brat, probably should have stayed in Florida, but, you know, whatever. Nikon, this is the horse that I like here, and has been progressing nicely. And if you like Hot Diva in the Davona Dale, which we will look at in a few minutes, I think that you will see, I mean, if you like Hot Diva, you know, depending on what Nikon does today, maybe the horse, you may want to play Hot Diva later on. But in a race where this is going to be a tactical race and you're not going to see a real, you may not see your typical race. It's going to be all tactical. It's going to be the jockeys doing their thing here. I think that in this case, I want to have a horse here, and yeah, I may be this may be a horse that ends up having the best kick here. So I'm going to go with the one Nikon here, and a little bit of an upset if you want to call 3-1 an upset. But then again, you have a 7-5 horse and a 8-5 horse here. So I'm going with the one here, Nikon here in race number 2 today, the Busher Stakes going a mile at Aqueduct. And then we're going to go all the way to the last race of the day, and it's the Gotham. And we have a field of 9 entered. We're down to 8. Creole Chrome, the 8. He was cross-entered in a race at the fairgrounds, as you can see there. He will stay at the fairgrounds, unless he got scratched there. Yeah, he's running a stakes race down there. He's a Louisiana bred and probably will reportedly stay at fairgrounds, state bred stakes. Okay, yeah. So we have a field of 8 here, and the one thing you'll notice here is you have no real no superstar yet that you're gonna say, oh my God, this is my Derby pick. Iron Honor could potentially be that. Ran on December 13th. Huge race, huge buyer speed figure there. That's just how they grade the races. And basically what they say is, if this were to be run at another track, this is how you gauge this horse running, let's say, at Churchill Downs as opposed to, and figure everything out from there. But the thing is, horses are like humans. Sometimes they do the same thing, sometimes they do weird stuff, and things happen. So, but um, but the thing is, like the commenter says here, you're never really concerned with these layoffs when dealing with Chad Brown, the St. Elias stable, all that. So this, I mean, the way that they're saying this may actually be too short for him. Now in December, this is, oh, let's get him to the track. He's ready to run, and he showed that he can run. So he's going to be tough here. He's got the breeding for it, and you're looking at a horse here who's going to be tough here. The 2 Hammond might be a play here for those that believe in playing horses that have had trouble the last time out. And I say that because, as you can see there in the comments, when he ran in the Swale Stakes going 7 furlongs, his head was turned at the start. And I'm going to bring it back to me for a second. And the one thing is, when you're sitting there, let's say I'm looking like this and somebody is coming close to me here, I'm not paying attention to here. I'm paying attention over there. So that's the same thing here. If the horse's head isn't directed properly, it's like, oh crap, now you gotta go. But that's definitely something to remember, to think about here, because guess what? That could be a reason why this horse just did not fire. He didn't get the start that he usually gets, not the start that he had in the juvenile sprint there at Gulfstream in November, and and was also 5 wide. Now, the turns at Gulfstream are probably just as forgiving as, let's say, Aqueduct, but still going 5 wide on a 1.8-mile track, you're still covering a lot more real estate than the horse that's on the rail. So this may be a horse that you want to look at here. And also, his numbers have improved with each and every race, so he may be sitting on a big one here. So if he gets a gate crew guy who has his head straight. Now, granted, the horse may have been freaking out as well. I mean, that's the one thing we don't know. And you can watch the video and you'd be like looking in and saying, "Oh, what really happened here?" Ah, okay, yeah. What and and if it's a severe case, the stewards would take a look at it. But he may be worth a play here, with the fact that you have a horse here who just hasn't. You may have a chance here with the horse who did not have that great of a start because he wasn't ready for the start, whether it was him turning the head or the guy in the gate not having his head set properly. But either way, he should be playing there as well. He should be ready to go here as well. The 5 Right to Party. This is a horse also that's going to get the distance. Constitution gets like 7.3 furlongs per win from his offspring, which is very high. Did win at a mile. Did have an okay sprint race there. Now, you see the numbers, like, but I mean, there is speed in this race. But there's also Iron Honor in this race too. So, but you would think he won't be back of the pack, even though he was only like 4 or 5 lengths behind, because of the fact that he did get bumped at the break. So if he gets a cleaner start here, he's probably stalking the pace here, and that may be the spot to be, but Iron Honor is going to be stalking as well. At least I think so. And then Crown the Buckeye, and you get to the point here that you see speed here, but you're looking at a horse that's shortening up, or actually he's going a mile. Okay, you're looking at probably be stalking there in Hammond, but Cross the Buckeye comes in from the fairgrounds, does shorten up. Also note he is not Triple Crown eligible yet because he was not campaigned. 4th and 1 obviously is. That's what that small indicator is. But probably found that he's distance limited. Now, some will argue, well, he did win that race at Mahoning Valley. He won easily, 4 1/4 lengths. Yeah, but he's running against Ohio breds. And Ohio breds are not as strong as the top 3-year-old horses or whatever level you want to put these horses in. But did have the lead in the gun runner, weakened late. This race, the Lecomte, he was on the lead and he faded with about a half a mile to go. So he could like the fact that it's a one-turn mile, but he has shown that he's going to tire against these other horses. And the thing is, this time of year, you find out how far your horse can run. And they still have Derby fever with this horse. It's just that also Yaupon was a sprinter. I just think that they got Derby fever. I just think that they may have to go back to the drawing board on him, in my opinion, because I think he's going to fade in this race. Exhibition only, another horse that's going to go for the lead, but went turf to dirt in that win about 3 weeks ago. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. Dirty Rich, another horse that's going to go for the lead. So you got horses here that are going to set things up nicely for Iron Honor if he doesn't go for the lead. Now, if you believe in the Timeform US pace numbers here, this horse should just go for the lead and disappear on this field. But I think Iron Honor and Right to Party are going to stalk. I'm going 6-5-2-3 here. Iron Honor over Right to Party here in the Gotham Stakes here in New York at Aqueduct. And then we're going to go over to Gulfstream Park. They have 14 races on the card. We're going to look at races 11 and 14. And we mentioned Blazing Brat and Paradise. They're both in New York running in the Busher. So we have a field of 9 cut down to 7. So with those scratches, this race here, if you're playing on FanDuel, you will get your money back only if your horse finishes second. So keep that in mind here. Now, also, they may have gotten away from this a little bit, but also keep in mind, usually these big days down in Florida, it's speed, speed, speed. So if you're on the front end, that may be great. Or, it may be that you may have some you may have the opportunity to that bias, as we like to call it, has disappeared from Gulfstream. But also, there is a chance of showers and thunderstorms there today, so there is a possibility of a wet track here today as well. So, but um, but favored in this race here is the 9 On Time Girl, and she was on time. A little reluctant to load to start. Got shuffled back here around the half-mile pole, which is right around the turn. Found the seam to go wide and just drew off and won. Very impressive win there. We'll get the stretch to a mile here. Um, you know, she probably will have a similar trip here. Being on the outside, she could probably just sit right on the hip of another horse, and then when it's time to go, IRAD will just say, let's go, little pop on the behind, and off she goes. She Be Smooth won the maiden at first asking there. She's going to step into stakes company for the first time, obviously, with the second race of her career. I can see this horse having a similar trip here. And we'll see if she's fast enough to start, because On Time Girl has shown speed. Does On Time Girl go for the lead? Does she sit at the hip? Because it all depends on who gets that piece of real estate first, so to speak. Because two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time. The 7 Swing Boat here has been slow to start in each of her 2 races, and that may be a good thing. That may be a bad thing here. I'm just looking at some of these other horses here. Like Imperatrice may go for the lead. It will probably go for the lead here. Omaha Bay will go for the lead. So you do have speed in here where if the track is playing favorably to those not on the lead, this could be a play here. She has closed well in both her tries. She made a move there. She made a big move there. Her numbers are improving. And, things get too fast up front, she will pick up the pieces here. The 6 Haute Diva, I think that's pronounced Haute or Haute Diva, as in Terre Haute. Closed well to win the cash run here on New Year's Day. Some people may see Nikon win, for example, and say, oh, we got to play Haute Drive here. But this horse closed well in that race here, was 3, 4, 5 wide. So, but also has shown that has run close to the lead. But it does look like that she has learned to rate a little bit. So we'll see if she rates today or she goes for the lead here. So, but she's a long shot, 15-1. I think, especially if Nikon does win early today, this is a horse that's going to be bet down some, at least in my opinion. Imperatrice is going to go for the lead. Omaha Bay is going to go for the lead. My Miss Mo, probably dreaming a little too big there. So when I look at this, I see On Time Girl being right there. She Can Be Smooth will be right there. It's going to be just a matter of who gets the lead, who doesn't, what can they do, how they react. But I think the fact that this horse, Swing Boat, has shown the ability to close, that could be at her advantage here. And Constitution, like I said, is a horse that does get the distance. Tappet is also Tappet is one of those horses where it seemed like his offspring were winning the Belmonts in years that they didn't have the Triple Crown on the line. So, but I'm going to go with swing vote here. I'm going 7-9-6-8 here in the Davona Dale here, race 11 at Gulfstream. And then we go to the main event of the day, which is the Fountain of Youth. They're going a mile and a 16th. Now, it is that tricky distance. I say it every time we have a race at this distance at Gulfstream. Now, granted, they did move the gate back a little bit more, so there's a little more run up. So the outside horses have a little bit of a chance to get over towards the rail. So, but you do have a field of 7 left. Hawken was scratched. I'm sorry, a field of 9. Excuse me. So you will get your money back if you finish second or third when you opt into that promo. If you notice, the 9 isn't even listed. The 9 was an early scratch, Global Aviator. He has a bone bruise that's going to take a couple of months to heal. So he's been pulled for the Kentucky Derby Trail as well as this race. So he'll take a couple of months off. Talkin is a scratch. Don't know what happened there. That was a day of the race scratch. Favorite here. Where is he? Commandment, the 4. Commandment won the Mucho Macho Man. Impressive win, drew off the win by almost 7 lengths there. Definitely taking the logical next step here. And, the way Brad Cox is, he will wait for his spots with his horses. He isn't going to run for the sake of running. So, and also, he's 5 for 17 at the meet, stretching out his horses to longer distances. So, so this is going to be the horse to beat here. 1-2 in a row. Won at Churchill in November to break the maiden, going 7 furlongs. Went a mile here. The only question is, can this horse go 2 turns? Now, granted, a mile and a 16th versus a mile isn't that much different. The only difference is Gulfstream's 1 mile race is 1 turn. This is a 2-turn race. So keep that in mind here for those that are unfamiliar with Gulfstream. But, you have to turn left twice in this race as opposed to just once. But that, just little things that I think way too much about from time to time. So Commandment 2-1, going to be tough here in this race here. The 5 Bravaro. Don't worry about that Oaklawn thing. Obviously, he's going to be running here. And by the way, these are formulator programs. So this horse faced Nearly in the Holy Bull. Nearly just ran them off their feet there. Just sat right by the speed in the race, and he just took over. There's no shame in that result there. Still ran a great race. It's just that he just unfortunately met a horse that ran off and won easily. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if this horse does something here. 8-1, which is a bit high, but who knows? You might get it. But with the 2 scratches, maybe not. The 6 Chief Wallaby broke his maiden in his first opportunity there. Impressive win there. Now, sometimes you want to see how these other horses do. Now, the Puma finished 3rd in the Sam F. Davis a couple of weeks ago. I bring that up, even though it's another race, another track, blah, blah, blah. The Puma had all kinds of problems at the top of the stretch. He had absolutely nowhere to go, and he kind of packed it in, kind of didn't. But the Puma looks like a nice horse there. This horse beat the Puma, and I liked the way he ran there. He wasn't far off the pace. He's, and they're saying the inexperience, but the thing is, not many of these horses have experience. Well, they have experience getting into the gate, but you're talking about horses who aren't necessarily facing top-notch horses. Now, granted, you look at Napoleon Solo here. He won the Champagne Stakes. He ends up taking most of the winter off, is back on track here. Obviously, the goal was not the Breeders' Cup. The goal is to get to the Derby, and they win today. They will be in because they also have 10 points from the Champagne there. So can stalk the pace there as he did in his debut. When gate to wire in the Champagne at almost 7-1. So you're going to see some versatility there. And he does look ready. He's fired numerous bullets there where he's the best of 5, the best of 10, the best of 19, the best of 5. So he's ready to go. Now, you're looking at a race here which, even though it doesn't have that horse that, it's like there's no standout horse here. And I don't know if there's really any real standout horse for the most part other than Nearly right now. But when you look at this, you got all these horses here. You're looking 3 races, 2, 1, 3, 3, 5, But, even Jackson Hole is interesting because he's shown that he can rate. He's shown he can go for the lead. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did that on purpose to get him a mile and 16th race at the fairgrounds where the configuration is similar to Churchill Downs. I don't know, just me thinking aloud. So, but I think Commandment is going to be tough here. But Chief Wallaby is going to love going 2 turns, not just today, but also in the future. And also, Napoleon Solo, I think he's cranked up and ready to go here. I think that Napoleon Solo goes 3 for 3 here and holds off Chief Wallaby here, who's going to be flying at the end. There's no shame in Commitment's game here today. I think, it wouldn't surprise me if he wins and wins impressively. But my money today is on Napoleon Solo at 7-2 here. I doubt I'll get 7-2, but I'm going 7-6-4-5 here in the finale at Gulfstream Park. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this show. I do appreciate each and every one of you for watching here. Check out BleacherBrothers.com. My articles will be posted shortly, and I will start getting ready for my trip. Tomorrow's show will be taped later tonight. We'll get that completed, and we'll have you ready to go here. So I do appreciate each and every one of you. We'll do it live tomorrow. Well, we won't do it live tomorrow. There's no show, no Joe Quill show Monday night at 9 o'clock. I won't be here. I should be here on Tuesday. So as long as my plane gets in the air Tuesday morning Pacific Coast time, I'll be here in plenty of time for that show. So keep an eye out for that. And hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll have some news on Tuesday as well. So hope everybody does well out there today, no matter what you do, even if it's not related to the horses. And hope everybody has a great weekend. So we'll see you tomorrow.